Hi, my name is Jim Lindell, and today I'd like to talk to you about business planning, but specifically Plan B, your continuity plan. Now, when we think of Plan B, many people do not realize that the origin of Plan B came from Otto von Bismarck. And he was renowned for having a backup plan when, whether it's a battle or some other type of contingency. And they were called the Bismarck Plan, which then eventually became Plan B as we call it today. But I want to address this from the perspective of both business planning and your individual life, your career planning. What is next for you? When we think about business planning, usually we think about some major categories. You think about traditional insurance, property and casualty, that type of thing. But the other two main categories are succession planning, contingency planning. And under contingency planning, there's a lot of different areas that this can branch out to. It can cover technology, and then subsets of that can even be things like cybersecurity, ransomware, etc. But from our perspective, we have to be prepared to understand what do we do if something happens to leadership. Might be our CEO, might be key people in the organization. And how do we put this together so we can continue and be successful? From the contingency perspective, what do we do when something happens that we did not anticipate? But by the way, we should have anticipated that, and I'll cover that in a second. But something occurs. It's a fire. It's a hurricane. It's COVID as an example. And the reason I say that we should have been prepared for these, that during the strategic planning for an organization, the topic of business planning should always be addressed during that time together. And it may be that we don't recognize it, well, it's actually COVID that's going to hit us, but we do recognize that some event could come about and then basically take our organization down or move it to a standstill. And then we can talk about what steps would we take, which in essence become our Plan B. There's a great resource you might want to consider. Jennifer Elder, who's a CPA, she wrote a book on faster disaster recovery. And you can pick that up on Amazon, and I get nothing from recommending the book. I just think it's a great resource for you. Okay. Now, the other thing is your individual career. I can't tell you the number of times people have come to me in their midlife, 40s, early 50s, and they have, for whatever reason, they've lost their position, and then they don't know what they're going to do next. And the real problem here is they are overcome with fear. And this is why a Plan B is so excellent for all of us. What do you do when you lose your job, lose your consulting position? Your company is sold, and again, you're not going to move with them to the different state. The reason that we feel the fear of these situations is because we don't know what we're going to do next. It's when you wake up in the middle of the night because all the ideas are going around in your head, and it's, what do I do? What do I do? Well, one of the recommendations for that, and you've probably seen that before, is you get up and you jot down what you would do when you wake up in the morning, and all of a sudden a sense of peace comes over you because you have taken some action steps. And it's the exact same thing as we look at our business world and our careers within that. If you know what you would do tomorrow, if you lost your job today, it makes it so much easier for you, because then you say, okay, I'm not happy about it. I'm concerned about my income flow, but I pull out my Plan B, and then here's what I do. I'm going to put more information on LinkedIn. I'm going to connect the different recruiters that I'm aware of. I'm going to talk to Billy Joe Jim Bob in a different area that has been a good referral source for me. And it removes some of the fear because you're taking action. And so for all of us then, I'd summarize this by saying, get a Plan B for your company, which should be part of your strategic planning. Create a Plan B for yourself, which is your career. And then when you look at anything else in life that you're confronted with, anytime you have that option, that other plan, it will make it easier for you to move forward. I'm Jim Lindell, and thanks for spending your time with me.